I am happy to welcome you to Illuminate Peak. I wish you to get your dream job for sure. Come and listen to this book as a wonderful story. Chapter 1: The Art of Preparing. My name is James, and I'd like to take you on a journey through the transformative power of the art of the interview. It all started with preparation, a crucial step in any endeavor. As I delved into John Lee's book, I quickly learned that preparation wasn't merely about researching the company or memorizing answers. It was about understanding myself deeply and aligning my goals with my values. In the past, interviews had been nerve-wracking experiences for me. I would stumble over my words, my mind going blank at critical moments. But armed with the insights from the art of the interview, I set out to change that. I began with self-reflection, digging deep into my own strengths, weaknesses, and achievements. Identifying my unique selling points, as the book called them, was a game changer. I realized that my experiences and skills were valuable assets that set me apart from other candidates. Armed with this newfound confidence, I moved on to the next step of preparation, researching the companies and industries I was interested in. Lee's book emphasized the importance of understanding the company's culture and values. It taught me to tailor my responses to align with the organization's mission, vision, and objectives. This demonstrated my genuine interest in the company and showcased my potential as a valuable team member. But preparation went beyond just answering questions. It also meant asking the right ones. I learned that interviews were two-way streets, and employers appreciated candidates who showed genuine curiosity about the role and the company. Armed with thoughtful questions, I was able to engage the interviewers in meaningful conversations, leaving a lasting impression. As I continued to prepare, I realized that storytelling played a significant role in interviews. Sharing my experiences, challenges, and successes in a compelling way allowed the interviewers to connect with me on a deeper level. I no longer felt like I was reciting a script but rather engaging in a conversation. One aspect that had always eluded me was how to address potential weaknesses. But the art of the interview taught me a valuable lesson: being honest and turning weaknesses into opportunities for growth was a sign of strength. So, I practiced discussing how I had faced and overcome challenges, demonstrating resilience and a commitment to continuous improvement. With the interview day approaching, I focused on honing my responses. Role-playing with friends and family allowed me to refine my storytelling and polish my delivery. I learned to strike a balance between being authentic and showcasing my best self. On the big day, armed with confidence and a well-prepared mindset, I walked into the interview room. The nerves were still there, but I embraced them as a sign of excitement rather than fear. I listened attentively to each question, taking a moment to collect my thoughts before answering thoughtfully. Throughout the interview, I could feel the connection building with the interviewers. I was no longer just a name on a resume but a person with a unique story and potential. The preparation had paid off, and I felt empowered by the knowledge that I was giving it my all. When the interview came to a close, I walked out with my head held high, proud of the effort I had put in. Regardless of the outcome, I knew that I had transformed the way I approached interviews and, more importantly, the way I perceived myself. Little did I know that this was just the beginning of a transformative journey. As I continued through subsequent interviews, the lessons from the art of the interview became ingrained in my approach to life. Preparation was no longer just about interviews, it became a way of living intentionally. Join me as I continue to share the inspiring and transformative story of how the art of the interview not only changed my career trajectory but also my perspective on life itself. Each chapter unfolds a new aspect of this powerful book, and I hope you'll find wisdom and inspiration within its pages as well. Chapter 2: Authentic Storytelling. As I embarked on my journey of transformation through the art of the interview, I quickly realized that the power of authentic storytelling could not be underestimated. This chapter is dedicated to how I learned to connect with others on a deeper level by sharing my experiences, struggles, and triumphs sincerely. Gone were the days of rehearsed answers and robotic responses. The art of the interview taught me that interviewers were not just interested in my qualifications and achievements, they wanted to know the person behind the resume, the authentic me. To harness the power of storytelling, I began by identifying the defining moments of my life, those experiences that shaped my character and values. From childhood adventures to professional challenges, I carefully selected stories that showcased my growth and resilience. Armed with these stories, I realized that the key was not merely recounting events but infusing emotion and passion into my narratives. By sharing how I felt during those experiences and how they impacted me, I allowed interviewers to connect with my journey on a deeper, more personal level. John Lee's book emphasized the importance of making these stories relevant to the position I was applying for. I learned to tailor my narratives to highlight specific skills or qualities that the employer was seeking. This not only showcased my abilities but also demonstrated my ability to adapt and communicate effectively. In one interview, I was asked about a time I had to work with a challenging team member. Instead of merely describing the situation, I shared the emotions I experienced and the steps I took to address the issue collaboratively. The interviewer appreciated my candidness and praised my ability to handle difficult situations with empathy and professionalism. Moreover, I realized that authentic storytelling was not just about showcasing success, but also acknowledging failure. Embracing vulnerability and discussing times when things didn't go as planned was challenging but liberating. I began to see that failures were not setbacks but opportunities for learning and growth. During one interview, I shared a project that had not achieved the desired outcome. Instead of dwelling on the disappointment, I focused on the lessons I learned and the improvements I implemented in subsequent endeavors. The interviewer admired my ability to learn from setbacks and praised my resilience. Authentic storytelling also allowed me to demonstrate how my values aligned with the company's culture. By sharing stories that highlighted my commitment to integrity, teamwork, and innovation, I showcased myself as a valuable addition to the organization. But beyond interviews, I found that authentic storytelling had an impact on my personal life as well. I started opening up to friends and family, sharing experiences I had kept hidden for fear of judgment. To my surprise, this vulnerability brought me closer to my loved ones and fostered deeper connections. The art of the interview had taught me that authenticity was not a weakness, it was a strength. Embracing my true self, including the imperfections, made me more relatable and human. It allowed me to build trust and form genuine connections with people, whether they were potential employers or friends. As my journey continued, I became more adept at weaving authentic stories into my interviews. Each opportunity became a chance to connect with others and leave a lasting impression. I started to view interviews as opportunities for meaningful conversations rather than nerve-wracking interrogations. In the next chapter of my story, I'll share how the power of active listening elevated my interviews to a whole new level. Through the art of the interview, I learned to truly hear and understand what others were saying, making me an even more compelling candidate and a better communicator overall. Stay tuned for more transformative insights. Chapter 3: The Power of Listening. In the pages of The Art of the Interview, I discovered that interviews were not just about showcasing my skills and experiences, they were opportunities to engage in meaningful conversations. And at the heart of these conversations lay a skill often overlooked but incredibly powerful: active listening. In my earlier interviews, I had been so focused on impressing the interviewer with my answers that I forgot the essential aspect of any conversation: listening. I learned that truly understanding the questions being asked and responding thoughtfully was just as important as the content of my answers. Active listening involved giving my full attention to the interviewer, making eye contact, and nodding to show understanding. By doing so, I not only conveyed respect but also allowed myself to absorb the nuances of the questions. This helped me tailor my responses to address the interviewer's specific concerns effectively. One particular interview stands out in my memory. The interviewer had a stoic demeanor, making it difficult to gauge their reactions. But rather than letting this discourage me, I leaned into active listening. I focused on their tone and body language, which provided subtle clues about their interests and concerns. As the conversation progressed, I noticed a slight shift in their posture when I mentioned my experience in team leadership. I took this as a sign of interest and elaborated on my approach to team building and conflict resolution. This keen listening allowed me to highlight my strengths where they mattered most. The art of the interview taught me that asking clarifying questions was another vital aspect of active listening. If I felt uncertain about a question's intent, I didn't hesitate to seek clarification. This not only showed my engagement but also demonstrated my analytical thinking and attention to detail. Moreover, active listening allowed me to incorporate the company's values and mission into my responses seamlessly. If the interviewer mentioned a recent achievement or project, I made sure to acknowledge it and express my enthusiasm for the company's direction. This demonstrated my genuine interest and cultural alignment. Beyond the interview room, I found that active listening had far-reaching effects in my personal life as well. As I honed this skill during interviews, I noticed a positive shift in my relationships with friends, family, and colleagues. People appreciated being heard and understood, which fostered deeper connections. However, active listening wasn't just about hearing words, it also involved understanding the unspoken messages. The tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language conveyed emotions and concerns that words alone couldn't capture. By paying attention to these nonverbal cues, I gained valuable insights into what truly mattered to the interviewer. To further improve my listening skills, I practiced with friends and family. I engaged in mock interviews, where they played the role of the interviewer, and I practiced active listening and responding thoughtfully. Their feedback and insights were invaluable, helping me refine my approach. As I continued my journey, I became known among my peers for my ability to listen actively and empathetically. Colleagues sought my advice and trusted me with their concerns. I realized that this skill went beyond interviews; it was a cornerstone of effective communication and building meaningful relationships. In the next chapter of my story, I will delve into the art of handling tough questions. Through the guidance of the art of the interview, I learned to navigate challenging inquiries with grace and confidence. Join me as I share how mastering the art of response transformed my interviews and, ultimately, my life. Chapter 4: Handling Tough Questions. In the journey of mastering the art of the interview, I encountered a significant challenge that many candidates dread: handling tough questions. These inquiries were designed to test not only my knowledge and skills but also my ability to handle pressure and think on my feet. I remember one particularly challenging interview where I was asked, "Tell us about a time you failed and how you handled it." In the past, I might have tried to avoid discussing failures, fearing that it would reflect poorly on me. However, armed with the wisdom of the art of the interview, I approached the question with confidence and authenticity. Rather than evading the question or downplaying the failure, I embraced it as an opportunity to demonstrate resilience and growth. I shared a project that didn't go as planned and acknowledged the mistakes made. However, I didn't stop there. I elaborated on the valuable lessons learned and the improvements I implemented in subsequent endeavors. The interviewer appreciated my candidness and praised my ability to turn setbacks into opportunities for learning and improvement. This experience taught me that addressing tough questions with honesty and positivity could actually work in my favor. Another challenging question I encountered was, "Why did you leave your previous job?" This question required finesse, as I didn't want to speak negatively about my former employer. Following the guidance from The Art of the Interview, I focused on discussing my career aspirations and how the new role aligned better with my long-term goals. Handling tough questions also involved staying composed under pressure. In one interview, I was asked a technical question that I wasn't entirely prepared for. Instead of panicking, I took a deep breath and asked for a moment to gather my thoughts. I then walked the interviewer through my problem-solving process step by step. Although I didn't have a perfect answer, my ability to approach the question logically and confidently impressed the interviewer. One aspect that The Art of the Interview emphasized was the importance of staying positive and reframing negative experiences. When asked about a challenging work relationship, I didn't focus on the difficulties I faced. Instead, I highlighted the skills I developed in conflict resolution and emphasized how the experience made me a stronger team player. Through the challenges of handling tough questions, I realized that interviewers appreciated candidates who demonstrated self-awareness and a willingness to learn and grow. I didn't have to be flawless, I had to show that I could handle adversity and turn it into an opportunity for improvement. Moreover, I learned that it was okay to ask for clarification if I didn't fully understand a question. This not only showed my engagement but also allowed me to tailor my response more effectively. Outside of interviews, I found that the ability to handle tough questions translated into other areas of my life. I became more adept at dealing with difficult conversations and addressing criticism with grace and humility. As my journey progressed, I discovered that handling tough questions was not just about providing the right answers but about showcasing my character and resilience. It was about staying true to myself and my values, even in challenging situations. In the next chapter of my story, I will share how The Art of the Interview taught me the power of embracing vulnerability. By allowing myself to be authentic and open, I deepened my connections with interviewers and others in my life, ultimately leading to more meaningful and transformative experiences. Stay tuned for more insights on this empowering journey. Chapter 5: Embracing Vulnerability. In the pages of The Art of the Interview, I discovered a lesson that would forever change the way I approached interviews and life itself: the power of embracing vulnerability. This chapter is dedicated to how I learned to open myself up, share my true self, and forge deeper connections with others through the courage of vulnerability. At first, vulnerability seemed like a daunting concept. The idea of revealing my weaknesses and fears in a high-stakes interview setting was intimidating. But as I delved deeper into the teachings of The Art of the Interview, I realized that vulnerability wasn't a sign of weakness, it was a testament to authenticity and strength. In one interview, I was asked about a time when I made a mistake at work. Instead of trying to dodge the question or divert attention away from my shortcomings, I embraced vulnerability. I shared a situation where a communication lapse led to a missed deadline. However, I didn't just stop at the mistake. I explained the steps I took to rectify the situation and the lessons I learned from the experience. To my surprise, the interviewer responded positively to my openness. They admired my ability to acknowledge mistakes and grow from them. This interaction showed me that vulnerability could be a powerful tool in building trust and rapport. But vulnerability wasn't limited to discussing past mistakes, it extended to sharing my passions and aspirations openly. I realized that interviewers weren't just interested in my professional achievements, they wanted to know what drove me, what sparked my enthusiasm, and what I hoped to achieve in the future. During one interview, I was asked about my long-term career goals. Instead of giving a rehearsed response, I allowed myself to be vulnerable and shared my dreams of making a meaningful impact in my industry. I spoke from the heart, and the interviewer appreciated my genuine enthusiasm and dedication to my chosen path. Embracing vulnerability in interviews had a profound impact on my personal life as well. I started being more open with my friends and family, sharing my hopes, dreams, and fears without fear of judgment. This newfound vulnerability strengthened my relationships, as it fostered deeper understanding and empathy among my loved ones. Furthermore, I noticed that the more I embraced vulnerability, the more others reciprocated. In interviews, interviewers became more candid about the company culture and their expectations. This allowed me to make informed decisions about whether the organization was the right fit for me. The art of the interview taught me that vulnerability didn't mean oversharing or being overly emotional. It was about striking a balance between authenticity and professionalism. Vulnerability allowed me to showcase my humanity and connect with interviewers on a more personal level while still maintaining a sense of professionalism. As I continued on my transformative journey, I realized that embracing vulnerability wasn't a one-time act, it was an ongoing practice. It required self-awareness and a willingness to be honest with myself and others. In the next chapter of my story, I will explore the art of mastering nonverbal cues. By understanding the power of body language and communication beyond words, I was able to create a lasting impression in interviews and other interactions. Join me as I share how this aspect of the art of the interview brought a new level of confidence and charisma to my life. Chapter 6: Mastering Nonverbal Cues. As I delved deeper into the art of the interview, I realized that communication extended beyond words. Nonverbal cues played a significant role in how I was perceived during interviews and other interactions. This chapter is dedicated to how I mastered the art of nonverbal communication, allowing me to create a lasting impression and convey confidence and charisma. The first step in mastering nonverbal cues was becoming aware of my own body language. I paid attention to my posture, making sure to sit or stand tall with my shoulders back. This simple adjustment not only conveyed confidence but also helped me feel more self-assured. I learned that eye contact was essential in establishing trust and engagement. During interviews, I made a conscious effort to maintain steady eye contact with the interviewer. It showed that I was attentive and genuinely interested in the conversation. A firm handshake was another nonverbal cue that left a lasting impression. It demonstrated my assertiveness and professionalism. I practiced with friends and family to find the right balance between a strong handshake and one that was not too overpowering. Throughout my interviews, I paid attention to mirroring the interviewer's body language subtly. When done naturally, mirroring can foster a sense of rapport and connection. I found that this technique helped to establish a comfortable and positive atmosphere during the interview. Genuine smiles were also powerful nonverbal cues. A warm and authentic smile conveyed approachability and likability. I made sure to smile at appropriate moments during the interview, such as when meeting the interviewer or expressing enthusiasm about the company. The art of the interview taught me the importance of avoiding negative body language, such as crossing my arms or fidgeting. These gestures could send signals of defensiveness or nervousness, undermining the impression I wanted to convey. Instead, I practiced keeping my body open and relaxed. Another aspect of mastering nonverbal cues was the art of active listening through my body language. I leaned slightly forward, showing interest and engagement in the conversation. Nodding at appropriate moments and providing encouraging facial expressions demonstrated that I was actively listening and understanding what was being said. Beyond interviews, I found that mastering nonverbal cues improved my communication in various social settings. Networking events and business meetings became opportunities to showcase my charisma and confidence. Colleagues and friends began to view me as approachable and trustworthy. Moreover, nonverbal communication allowed me to adapt to different cultural contexts. I learned that certain gestures or expressions might be perceived differently in various cultures. By being mindful of cultural differences, I could communicate effectively and respectfully with individuals from diverse backgrounds. As I continued to refine my nonverbal cues, I noticed how it positively impacted my self-esteem. The more I projected confidence through my body language, the the more I felt empowered and self-assured. It was a cyclical process where my body language influenced my mindset, and my mindset, in turn, influenced my body language. The art of the interview had opened my eyes to the intricacies of communication. Words were just one part of the equation, nonverbal cues were equally significant. By mastering these cues, I transformed how I presented myself to the world, exuding charisma and confidence in every interaction. In the next chapter of my story, I will share how I handled rejection and setbacks. Through the guidance of the art of the interview, I learned to view rejections as stepping stones to growth and to remain resilient in the face of challenges. Join me as I reveal how this transformative mindset propelled me forward in my journey. Chapter 7: Demonstrating Resilience. In the pursuit of mastering the art of the interview, I encountered numerous challenges and faced moments of rejection. This chapter is dedicated to how I embraced the power of resilience, viewing setbacks as opportunities for growth, and remained steadfast on my transformative journey. Rejection is an inevitable part of any transformative journey. Despite my best efforts and preparation, not every interview resulted in success. In the past, rejections would have discouraged me and dampened my spirits. However, armed with the lessons from the art of the interview, I saw rejections through a different lens. I learned that rejection didn't define my worth or abilities, it was simply part of the process. Each rejection presented an opportunity for self-reflection and improvement. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, I focused on what I could learn from the experience. After one particularly disheartening rejection, I took some time to assess my performance honestly. I sought feedback from the interviewer, asking for specific areas I could improve. Their insights proved invaluable, pointing out areas where I could strengthen my responses and enhance my communication. The art of the interview emphasized the importance of resilience in the face of setbacks. I understood that the ability to bounce back from rejection was a valuable skill, not only in interviews but also in life. I embraced resilience as an essential aspect of personal growth and development. With a resilient mindset, I continued to apply for opportunities and attend interviews with renewed vigor. I no longer viewed rejections as failures but as stepping stones on my path to success. Each rejection fueled my determination to refine my skills and become a stronger candidate. As I persevered, I began to see the results of my resilience. My interviews became more polished, and I projected greater confidence. Employers appreciated my ability to address challenging questions and my eagerness to learn from past experiences. I also discovered that resilience extended beyond rejections. In interviews, I encountered situations where I needed to think on my feet and adapt quickly. For example, during one interview, the interviewer asked about a skill I hadn't mentioned on my resume. Instead of stumbling over my words, I confidently explained how my diverse background allowed me to learn and adapt to new challenges swiftly. Moreover, I faced situations where my responses didn't resonate with the interviewer as I had hoped. In such instances, I didn't let self-doubt seep in. Instead, I used it as an opportunity to refine my answers and approach. Beyond interviews, resilience became a guiding force in my personal life as well. I faced challenges and obstacles with a newfound determination, knowing that setbacks were temporary and that I had the strength to overcome them. As I continued my journey, I realized that resilience wasn't just about bouncing back, it was also about staying true to my values and aspirations. Each rejection and challenge became a test of my commitment to my goals. It was a reminder to never lose sight of what truly mattered to me. The art of the interview had taught me that resilience was not an innate trait but a skill that could be cultivated and strengthened. It was a mindset that allowed me to persevere in the face of adversity and remain optimistic about the possibilities that lay ahead. In the next chapter of my story, I will share how I cultivated unshakable confidence in my abilities. Armed with this newfound belief in myself, I approached interviews in life with unwavering assurance. Join me as I unveil the transformative power of self-assuredness and its impact on my journey. Chapter 8: Cultivating Confidence. As my transformative journey through the art of the interview continued, I discovered the indispensable role of cultivating unshakable confidence in myself. This chapter is dedicated to how I harnessed the power of self-assuredness, which allowed me to approach interviews in life with unwavering conviction. Confidence wasn't something that came naturally to me in the past. I often doubted my abilities and questioned whether I was worthy of success. However, the art of the interview showed me that confidence wasn't about being perfect, it was about trusting in my skills, experiences, and potential. The first step in cultivating confidence was acknowledging my achievements. I took stock of my past successes and celebrated the milestones I had achieved. Reflecting on these moments allowed me to recognize my worth and the value I brought to the table. To further boost my confidence, I engaged in positive self-talk. Instead of dwelling on my perceived weaknesses, I focused on my strengths and the qualities that set me apart. Affirmations like "I am capable" and "I have what it takes to succeed" became mantras that reinforced my belief in myself. In interviews, I learned to project confidence through my body language and tone of voice. Standing tall, making eye contact, and speaking clearly were all signals of my self-assuredness. Employers responded positively to this display of confidence, as it conveyed that I believed in myself and my abilities. But cultivating confidence wasn't just about projecting it outwardly, it also involved overcoming internal self-doubt. The art of the interview taught me to embrace the concept of the imposter syndrome, the feeling that I didn't deserve my achievements and that I would be exposed as a fraud. I realized that many high achievers experience this phenomenon and that it wasn't a reflection of my actual abilities. To combat the imposter syndrome, I reminded myself that my achievements were the result of hard work, dedication, and continuous growth. I shifted my focus from dwelling on perceived inadequacies to celebrating my progress and ongoing learning. In interviews, I presented my achievements with confidence, without downplaying their significance. I learned to embrace positive feedback and praise, accepting that I deserved recognition for my hard work. This shift in mindset not only bolstered my self-assuredness but also allowed me to share my accomplishments more effectively. The more I cultivated confidence, the more I saw its impact on all aspects of my life. I began to pursue new opportunities with a newfound boldness and enthusiasm. Whether it was taking on challenging projects at work or exploring new hobbies outside of my comfort zone, confidence became the driving force behind my actions. Moreover, I noticed that confidence had a ripple effect on how others perceived me. Colleagues and friends recognized my self-assuredness and approached me for guidance and leadership. I became a source of inspiration for others, encouraging them to believe in their own capabilities. The art of the interview had taught me that confidence was not a fixed trait but a skill that could be cultivated through practice and mindset. It wasn't about being overconfident or arrogant, it was about knowing my worth and having faith in my abilities. In the next chapter of my story, I will share how I turned rejection into opportunity. Armed with resilience and confidence, I viewed setbacks as stepping stones to growth and continued to push forward on my transformative journey. Join me as I reveal how this powerful mindset propelled me towards my dreams and aspirations. Chapter 9: Turning Rejection into Opportunity. In my transformative journey through the art of the interview, I encountered moments of rejection that could have easily discouraged me. However, armed with resilience, confidence, and the guidance of this empowering book, I learned to view rejection as a stepping stone to growth and turn setbacks into opportunities. Each rejection, though disheartening, was an opportunity for self-reflection and improvement. Instead of allowing disappointment to hold me back, I used it as motivation to refine my approach and become a stronger candidate. After one particularly challenging rejection, I took the time to analyze my interview performance honestly. I sought feedback from the interviewer, which provided valuable insights into areas I could improve. Their constructive criticism was a gift in disguise, offering me a chance to grow and evolve. The art of the interview taught me the importance of seeking feedback and being open to criticism. Each rejection became a valuable learning experience, revealing areas where I could strengthen my responses and communication. With each round of feedback, I refined my skills, transforming myself into a more compelling candidate. Moreover, I learned that rejection wasn't necessarily a reflection of my abilities or worthiness. Sometimes, external factors influenced the hiring decision, and I might not have been the right fit for a particular role or company culture. Understanding this allowed me to detach emotionally from rejections and view them more objectively. With resilience and confidence as my allies, I approached each new opportunity with unwavering determination. Instead of letting rejections deter me, I used them as a compass to guide me towards the right path. I refined my approach and tailored my responses, always seeking to improve and showcase my true potential. In one instance, I faced a series of rejections that left me disheartened. However, I refused to give up. I sought out additional training and certifications to strengthen my skill set further. These experiences not only enhanced my qualifications but also demonstrated my commitment to continuous improvement. The transformational mindset of turning rejection into opportunity extended beyond interviews. In my personal life, I embraced this outlook when facing challenges and obstacles. I reframed setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow, which empowered me to tackle life's hurdles with tenacity and optimism. The art of the interview had taught me that resilience was not just about bouncing back from failure, it was about using failure as a catalyst for growth. I learned to view rejections as redirections, guiding me towards paths that aligned better with my values and aspirations. As I continued on my journey, I noticed how my transformation and positive outlook began to manifest in my interviews. Employers appreciated my self-assuredness, resilience, and eagerness to learn from past experiences. The confidence I projected conveyed that I was a candidate worth considering despite any previous setbacks. Each rejection became a reminder of my perseverance and dedication to achieving my goals. I embraced the idea that rejection was not the end of the road, it was merely a stepping stone on my path to success. In the next chapter of my story, I will share the powerful impact of self-belief and determination on my journey. Armed with the lessons from the art of the interview, I propelled myself forward with unwavering faith in my abilities and unwavering commitment to realizing my dreams. Join me as I unveil how this transformative mindset shaped my destiny. Chapter 10: Landing the Dream Job. My transformative journey through the art of the interview had been filled with moments of growth, self-discovery, and resilience. As I approached the final chapters of this empowering story, I had cultivated unshakable confidence and learned to turn rejections into opportunities. Now, armed with a transformative mindset, I set my sights on landing the dream job I had envisioned. With each rejection, I refined my approach and continued to seek out new opportunities. I stayed true to my values and aspirations, never losing sight of the path I wanted to pursue. This unwavering determination guided me as I prepared for the interviews that lay ahead. Armed with the wisdom of the art of the interview, I immersed myself in thorough research for each company. I delved deep into their mission, values, and culture, ensuring that my responses aligned seamlessly with their objectives. This genuine interest in the organization demonstrated my commitment and passion. Throughout the interviews, I embraced the power of authentic storytelling and vulnerability. I shared my experiences, challenges, and aspirations openly, allowing the interviewers to connect with me on a personal level. I showcased my growth and resilience, leaving a lasting impression as a candidate who could thrive and contribute to the company's success. Active listening remained at the core of my communication, allowing me to respond thoughtfully and engage in meaningful conversations with the interviewers. I asked relevant and insightful questions that further demonstrated my enthusiasm for the role and my commitment to making a meaningful impact. During one pivotal interview, I faced a series of tough questions. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, I drew upon my resilience and confidence to tackle each inquiry with poise. The interviewers noticed my ability to handle pressure and appreciated my genuine responses, setting the stage for a positive outcome. As the interview process continued, I remained patient and persistent. I didn't let the fear of rejection hold me back. Instead, I stayed focused on the present moment and continued to put my best foot forward. Finally, the moment I had been eagerly awaiting arrived. After a series of challenging interviews, I received the news that I had landed the dream job. The feeling of fulfillment and joy was unparalleled. I realized that this success wasn't just about securing a job, it was a testament to the transformative journey I had embarked upon. The art of the interview had not only shaped my approach to interviews but had transformed my perspective on life itself. I had cultivated a mindset of resilience, self-belief, and continuous growth that extended far beyond the interview room. It had become a way of living intentionally and embracing opportunities for learning and development. In landing the dream job, I saw the culmination of my efforts and the power of believing in myself. Each rejection and setback had played a crucial role in shaping my journey, pushing me closer to the path I was destined to follow. As I stepped into this new chapter of my life, I knew that the transformative journey was ongoing. The principles I had learned from the art of the interview would continue to guide me in my personal and professional growth. I was ready to embrace new challenges with confidence and resilience, knowing that I had the tools to turn every experience into an opportunity for transformation. As this inspiring and transformative story comes to a close, I hope that you, my dear friend, find the wisdom and encouragement to embark on your own journey of self-discovery and growth. May the art of the interview become a beacon of guidance as you navigate the interviews and experiences that lie ahead, transforming your life in remarkable ways. Epilogue: The Art of Living. As I reflect on my transformative journey through the art of the interview, I realize that the principles I learned extend far beyond the interview room. The book not only empowered me to excel in interviews but also taught me the art of living a fulfilling and purposeful life. The lessons of authenticity, active listening, vulnerability, and resilience have become guiding principles in every aspect of my life. I approach relationships with openness and empathy, fostering deeper connections with those around me. I've learned to actively listen to the needs and concerns of others, recognizing the value of their experiences and perspectives. Embracing vulnerability has allowed me to let go of the fear of judgment and express myself more freely. I now open up to others, sharing my joys, fears, and aspirations, strengthening my bonds with loved ones and forming meaningful connections. Resilience has become my shield against the challenges life presents. Instead of being disheartened by setbacks, I view them as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. The determination to persist through difficult times has transformed my attitude towards adversity, making me more resilient and resourceful. The art of the interview has shown me that the art of living is not about chasing external validation or success, but about finding fulfillment in being true to oneself. It is about aligning my actions with my values and pursuing a purpose-driven life. With confidence and self-belief, I've stepped outside of my comfort zone, embracing new experiences and opportunities with enthusiasm. I approach each day as a canvas on which to create my unique masterpiece, continuously evolving and growing. Through my journey, I've come to realize that life is an ongoing transformative process. The principles I've learned from the art of the interview are not fixed, they evolve as I do, shaping me into the person I am meant to become. As I turn the last page of this chapter, I embrace the art of living with a renewed sense of purpose and gratitude. I'm grateful for the transformative journey that has led me to this point and excited for the chapters yet to be written. To my dear friend, I hope that you, too, find inspiration in my story and the wisdom of the art of the interview. May it guide you in your own transformative journey and empower you to live a life that is authentically yours. Remember, life is not merely about finding the right answers, it's about asking the right questions, both in interviews and in life. With an open heart and a curious mind, you'll embark on a journey of self-discovery that leads to a truly fulfilling and transformative existence. Embrace the art of living, my friend, and may your story be one of growth, resilience, and purpose. With each new chapter, may you find the courage to turn challenges into opportunities and transform your life into a masterpiece of authenticity and self-fulfillment. As the sun sets on this tale, a new dawn awaits, and the art of living unfolds in all its beauty. The journey continues, and I eagerly await the adventures that lie ahead. Here's to living a life that is deeply meaningful and authentically transformative. Cheers!